Hi, my name is Osas Omoigiade. I'm a graduate student at Homerton College studying a Master in Material Science. I'm from London, but originally I'm from Nigeria. In my opinion, I think I couldn't put it down to one thing necessarily, but I could say three things. One of the biggest things I think about the college that's my favorite is our Great Hall. It's very overwhelming, I think, when you first get in there. But then, because you go there so frequently for dinner and for lunch, etc., you quickly become very familiar with the whole thing, and so you get into the feel of the college. And I think that's one thing that's beautiful about it. Another aspect is the fact that it's very friendly. Remember when I first arrived and I spoke to the porters, I was really surprised by how genuinely nice they were to me. I had to look around for cameras to make sure that this was all being real. But it turns out that they're just very good people. And that's the kind of feeling you get all the time in Homerton, wherever you are, with the students as well as the staff as well. Like I mentioned before, well, one of my favorite parts about Homerton is the fact that this is the Great Hall. And so I would say my highlight was when I first saw it completely packed during matriculation dinner. So that was an interesting experience to say the least. But I don't want to spoil anything for you. There's a lot to see that day, I would say. The college accommodation, it's been quite interesting for me because most graduates are put into Harrison House. However, I was put into West House, which is a freshers hall. And people might complain and think, it's going to be crazy, all the freshers running about and everything. But I would think it's been quite a fun experience so far. And the freshers, they're really nice because you both have it in common that you're both new at Homerton. It's your first year there. So it's been great getting along with them. And also because in fact, all of the accommodation in Homerton is fairly new, it means we have good central heating. And I've heard some stories with my friends in slightly older accommodations that it can get quite cold at winter, but in Homerton you feel very comfortable all the time. I remember when I first came to Homerton, we were told by the graduate tutor that when you start an MPhil, you sort of hit the ground running. But in studying an MAST, I found that you never quite hit the ground. You kind of in free fall for the whole thing. So it's only when you reach a terminal velocity you kind of sort of steady out. So in studying that, it's been a very interesting experience because you have about, at least in the first term and halfway of the second term, about 3 afternoons a week of research. So you're in the lab for quite a bit of it. But there's some good aspects to that because you get a lot of contact time with your supervisors and speaking to them about the course because they're professionals in the field. You get to have some very interesting in-depth discussions. And also, one thing that's quite cool about the MAST is that unlike the first two parts of the Cambridge Tripos, where you have set supervisions, you organize the supervisions yourself, and so you have the liberty to organize it within your own time, which means you have to be quite disciplined, but I guess that's what being a master's student is really. I would summarize Homerton in 3 words, and those words being outgoing, diverse, and of course friendly. We're Cambridge's most friendly college. Outside of my academics, I'm involved with poetry and jazz. I had the great opportunity to perform a poem at the start of the year at Churchill College with the African Caribbean Society, and over there I met some amazing people, which then meant that I have now some future collaborations with them as well to do some more poetry. That's going to be amazing. And because I'm a part of a very active jazz band, we play in a lot of bar gigs, as well as we're going to be playing at a May Ball in June, which I'm looking forward to. And on the other side actually is our MCR in Homerton. They're very friendly and very helpful actually, because most graduate students are only here for a year, and they try and make sure we get the most out of that 1 year by sending us loads of emails about different SWAPs that are available. And a SWAP is basically us going to a different college for a formal hall, them coming over here for a formal hall similarly, so that way you can get to meet as many new people as you can. After the MAST, I would like to do a PhD and pursue a PhD in experimental physics. And I think it's really aided by the fact I'm doing the MAST because it's very heavily research based, and so there's a lot of scope to go and carry on your research into a PhD project. So that's quite an attractive part of the MAST. I think Cambridge has met my expectations because it's provided a lot of opportunity that probably wouldn't otherwise be available in most other universities. I think that's due to the fact that there's a collegiate system. Because you have so many colleges around, they act as nucleation sites for different ideas, and so you have loads of things cropping up everywhere. As a result, there's loads of scope for and variety of things to get involved with, which has been my experience here so far.